Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live from Panama. We have had a couple of days. We arrived a couple of days ago. And as we arrived, we moved forward into the migrant camps. One of them was Lajas Blancas, that is steps away ultimately from the Darien Gap, that we have been there multiple times. And also the next day, we went to Bajo Chiquito, that is the epicenter coming out where Ben Berquam and myself, we have walked the inverse route a couple of times coming out of Bajo Chiquito and walking all the way to the central parts of the Darien Gap. What have I seen? This is the informative report of what have I seen. If we go to the migrant camp of Lajas Blancas, you will see an influx that is exacerbated. It hasn't stopped. A lot of migrants that they are hurt, a lot of migrants that they're going through a horrible, horrible process. As we know that the Darien Gap, it is not a route. It is a jungle. It is not a route. So we went to this migrant camp. We saw an influx at around 2,500 people per day they're talking about. So you're talking about that roughly from Monday to Friday, almost 8 to 10,000 people. They're going through this particular pathway that is Lajas Blancas. And then after that, on the next day, we went to Bajo Chiquito, that is another migrant camp that is a complete disaster. We went with Josh Phillips from the Epic Times. We did a little bit of an interview with him, which I want to say hello and appreciate Josh Phillips and all his team that were really incredibly great with us. And also we went with Miss Laura Loomer. Ultimately, Miss Loomer was really surprised of all the things that are happening over here and the situation, how critical it is, and what the leftist policies and the Democrats, what they have created in Central and South America and the collateral damage that they have created. Both of them, they were extremely surprised. Both of them that were really concerned about what the migrants, how they are being used, and how this looks like a weaponized migration to use the migrants for a political agenda inside of the United States of America. We went to Bajo Chiquito, Panama, and one of the most incredible things that I saw was a banner of HIAS, the non-governmental organization that is from a Jewish entity, apparently. And HIAS, it is unbelievable what they did. They're trying to find justifications, a million of justifications for the banner that I found inside of Bajo Chiquito. What they have, it is a map of how to get out of the Darien and with point A, point B, point C, and point D, right? So ultimately, they have a map of how to move from south all the way to north. The most aggravated thing is that they have their points of attention. Their points of attention is places that they are going to be attending the migrants or helping the migrants, to attend them and to help them, quote unquote. And one of the places is Necoclí. May I remind you all that when Ben Berquam and myself, we went to Necoclí, we found that the United Nations had a stand right there where they were giving out a prevention kit. This prevention kit was containing a whistle. Also, the most aggravated thing was that they were giving condoms to men. And not only that, they were giving Plan B pills to women. This is before they go on a boat that they pay the cartel or they pay this tourist companies for them to go into the three places that they enter the jungle. Guess what HIAS had? HIAS had on their point of attention, Necoclí, the #1 distribution place of migrants to go inside the jungle. So they are stationed to basically give attention in Necoclí, where they are departing and going to the jungle. And then after that, they put 3 points of entry into the jungle: Capurganá, Turbo, and also Acandí. Those are the 3 places that possibly they're saying that you can enter the jungle and fast forward into exiting the jungle. And when you exit the jungle, they will have places where you are going to be attended. They will say Bajo Chiquito, possibly not. They will say San Vicente, yes. They will say Lajas Blancas, yes. But ultimately, the most aggravated thing is that they have the 3 points of entry, the 3 ports of entry on their banner, basically promoting and telling the migrant, oh, I can enter to Capurganá, I can enter to Acandí, I can enter to Turbo. This is a non-governmental organization that defends human rights, supposedly. This is what the UN stands all against: abuse. And you're promoting migrants how to enter to one place and go to another one and enter the jungle where we have documented abuse, assault, robbers, bandits, multiple mudslides, people, decomposed bodies, migrants almost drowning, children almost drowning, high current rivers, and all kinds of disaster we have documented inside of that place of the jungle. This is highest promoting this with the banner at the epicenter of coming out of the Darien Gap. Aggravating, it is a mess. Yes, it has to be brought to light. Absolutely. Somebody needs to speak about it completely. Somebody needs to say something about it. Absolutely, yes. And the thing about it is that one of the aggravating things about this is a lot of the American taxpayers, they're funding this. A lot of them, they don't know what they're doing. And they're giving money to these kind of NGOs, and they're giving money to these kind of international organizations without knowing the harm and without knowing what kind of support they are doing and what kind of damage they're doing to humanity. Migrant lives matter. I'm a pro-migrant myself. I believe that migration is a human right, but in those human rights, there's laws, and you have to obey those laws, and there's processes of how to migrate to one side and to another. The most aggravated thing about this is the most aggravated thing about this, is that they are promoting the 3 ports of entry into the jungle. This is aggravating, completely aggravating. Why? Because I have seen decomposed bodies inside of the jungle of migrants, that they have lost their lives on their intent to go inside of the jungle and to cross the jungle. I have seen women suffer rape and abuse by bandits in the cartel of El Golfo of Colombia. I have seen the suffering of children crossing rivers and almost drowning to get out of the horrible, horrible journey. This cannot be happening. It is unbelievable, the things that you discover every time that you come over here. It is completely unbelievable that I could believe that this non-governmental organization has no shame at all to put up a map and to ultimately, not only that, forget about the map. You're putting the 3 ports of entry into the jungle when we know that Darien, it is not a route. It is a jungle. Stop profiting out of human misery, highest. Stop profiting out of human suffering. Stop profiting out of the Latino, Central America, and South America population. Instead of you or your millions, invest in providing education, in providing an opportunity of a better job, in providing a safe pathway for migrants to not endanger themselves and to migrants to not die in their journey and be abused and be raped and be robbed and possibly die in a mudslide or possibly survive at crossing a high current river. It is unbelievable what we found on this camp. And not only that, the exacerbated migration that is continuing. My brother Ben Berquam is going to come down in a few days. You have opened the door, and it is really difficult to close. The mask. We know that there's something horrible happening in Venezuela. We know that there's something horrible happening in Haiti. We know that their economical disaster, insecurity, and all of this that it has caused into our Latin American countries. We know the disaster that it is. Crossing the Darien, being trafficked behind a tractor trailer, crossing the desert, crossing the jungle, crossing the river, crossing the sea, it is not the solution. Whoever advocates for this, it is part of the freaking problem, and it is a complete inhuman being. You are part of this. This is not xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, creating hysteria, fear-mongering, conspiracy theory, white supremacy, racist, fascist, narcissist, and bigot. Leave your language barrier of defense outside of the box and concentrate that these are lives. These are people. They have 2 hands, 2 legs, a mind that we can think, and a heart that they can feel. They are human beings. And you are promoting a route and an entry to the Darien. No, they're not. They're just pointing out where they can give attention to migrants. By you saying, let me just give you this example. And it is a hypothetical, and possibly you're going to say, it's a stupid example. How can you compare human beings to this? I can compare whatever I want. This is how I see it. If you're in the middle of the desert and you have a camel, the knowledgeable, the rider of the camel, the human being that is riding the camel says he sees a map and he sees, oh, 65 kilometers through this horrible desert without no water, but 65 kilometers ahead, I can get a water. There's a lagoon. And after those 65 kilometers, there's another lagoon. So I have to go through here because there's no other way, right? What do you think the camel and the rider of the camel are going to do? Incompetent individual. They're going to go through that. That is what you're doing. You're putting attention positions and attention places where you're potentially going to give attention to migrants is strategically coming out of the Darien before entering the Darien. And ultimately, as they go, you are putting your positions to people to migrate, go, walk, suffer, traffic, go, walk, suffer, traffic. It's unbelievable what these non-governmental organizations are doing. The most critical thing is that, we had an opportunity today as we were coming down the Darien Gap. There's a bunch of people that we went through these particular places, and we are exposing this. One of them, I got the chance to work with Miss Laura Loomer. She came down, we worked, we talked, and also she gave me an interview, and we congregated and we were on the same piragua. We were walking. I was showing her specifically the points and every single thing that is happening, and she was completely surprised. She was in shock. She was like, I cannot believe this. Also had the opportunity to work with Josh Phillips from the Epoch Times. He's a completely great guy. And he and I, we think exactly the same of this situation. It's disgusting what the international organizations are doing. And we look at this problem exactly the same. And it was great to talk to him, but it was when they see the problem, they're surprised. They're in shock. They're like, wow, this is an aggravated problem, and it has been going on for years. It has been going on for years now. How much of a suffering are you going to allow you as an average citizen to continue? How much are these governments are going to be continuing to put punishment on their people? Nicolás Maduro, Ortega in Nicaragua, Haiti people, the people from Africa suffer poverty. Every entity is different. They have their own problems. The solution is not to push them out of their countries and make them migrate through a horrible jungle. The solution is to find a solution in their countries so they can provide a better economy and live happy in their country, safe, with a prosperous future for their children. It is horrible what these international organizations, they are doing. It is horrible what we found. And it is so disappointing that you see that in a migrant camp, that a migrant just coming in and you ask them, is Darien a route for you? And they will say, ultimately, they will say, hell no. Darien, it is not a route. Every single migrant, you ask them, will you do this again? And they will tell you, not even in a million years. But you have a banner of highest of an international organization that is promoting their points of entry by you putting in your banner the 3 villages that you can enter to the jungle. You're part of the problem. Who handles the smuggling into those particular ports of entry? I want to ask you, to highest, to all of you that you are, knowing that this mass migration that is continuing through these particular 3 villages. Who handles the mass migration through these particular 3 villages? You know who they are. Ultimately, the cartel, the organized crime. They handle the ports of entry to those particular villages. Why are you giving the route where the cartel or the organized crime is handling, and it is putting people's lives in danger? Why? It is absolutely disgusting. And I'm so thankful that I was just looking and I was like, you have to be kidding me. As a matter of fact, this is the way I found it. This is the way we found it. I was walking with Miss Laura Loomer, and she said, look, there's a highest banner over there. And she looked away and she was talking. And I said, yeah, and she was kind of recording me explaining what it was going on inside of the shelter and inside of the migrant camp. And I was like, this Loomer, this is what is going on. This is this and this and this is that. Also, I was talking to Mr. Phillips from the Epoch Times, Mr. Josh Phillips. I was explaining to him also, this is what is going on. This is where they entered. This is where they registered. All of a sudden, I look into this banner and I'm like, hold on a minute. And I go to the banner and they're recording me as I am looking at this. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Those are the 3 smuggling points, the most aggravated smuggling points, the most deadliest, the most dangerous places for migrants to be tortured walking. And this is highest. It says on the top. Unfreaking believable. I was completely disgusted, and more disgusted I am that there's people that they're justifying this conduct. This is the most disgusting thing, that there's people that they're justifying the conduct by saying this is disinformation. They are helping them by putting points of attention. You are horrible if you are this individual. You're horrible. You're disgusting. You're horrible if you are this person that is looking for justifications when what we just found, that it's the obvious reason. There's a banner with a map of how to migrate to a place that is not around. The message has been clear. Even the Panamanian government has released a campaign that Darien, it is not a route. Why these international organizations, they have the power to basically put a banner on the most critical migrant camps in the world, promoting the 3 ports of entry into the jungle? That is the question. Unbelievable. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. I'm standing in my second home, I call it. This is my second home, Panama. I love this country. This country is beautiful. Beautiful people. It's beautiful weather. I love this country, man. I really love this country. It's just a phenomenal country. Behind me, the Panamanian Canal. We came here to have a little lunch. Now, after this, I'm going to go and do some things and then go to my hotel. I'm right here standing in Panamanian soil. Always they have treated me with respect. They have treated me with love. They have treated me with enormous courtesy over here in Panama. Every single person, even when you arrive to the airport and when you get to your hotel, even everybody is courteous. It's a beautiful country. And I am so glad to be here, so glad that they opened the doors for me. I'm a migrant when I'm coming over here. I'm entering with my passport, and I'm a migrant to come work over here. And I'm so glad that they're giving me the opportunity to do that. God bless this country. God bless the authorities. God bless law enforcement of Panama. God bless Senafront. God bless the Service National Migration of Panama. God bless the Minister of Security. All of them, they're doing a phenomenal and incredible work over here with this overflowed migration. It's an unstoppable, it's unsustainable. I don't know how this can continue, but you get to understand. And even I will tell you something. I have interviews with migrants that I'm asking them, if you have the possibility to vote in the United States of America, and they give you in a paper ballot, they give you an option. If you can vote for Biden or if you can vote for Trump, who will you vote for? And the answer, it is not shocking, but it's obvious. They say, all of them, Biden. They say Biden, it is the migrant president. It is the president of migrants. One migrant said, we know that some things, they're out of his control. Some things, they're out of his control. And some things are not controlled by him. But if it wasn't for him, he's given me the opportunity for everybody to come in. And I asked that question to several people, several migrants. I asked that question. If you had the opportunity to vote in the United States of America, who would you vote for? And 100% of them, not even one, said Biden. And of course, they're going to say Biden because the 45th president of the United States has made it clear that he's going to do a mass deportation. So their answer is that president doesn't like us when they're referencing to Trump. That president doesn't like migrants, and that president wants to close the border. Even we ask migrants in the Darien migrant camps if the border is open. They say it is. Do you feel that he invited you? They say yes, he invited us. Do you feel that you are going to be allowed? Everybody's being allowed. I have my family that they went the same way, and I'm going the same way also. So, not I am. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just telling you the current situations how they are. It looks like I don't want to be, telling my thoughts, my predictions, but you can crack the Da Vinci Code of what this actual political party is doing to your country. It's easy. It is easy to crack that Da Vinci Code. Everybody deserves a chance to a better life. Every migrant deserves a chance to a better life. A thing that the Democrats have not done. A thing that activists have not done. They always interview the migrant that is coming, suffering, and walking on a caravan, but they never interview the migrant that is a permanent resident of the United States of America. They don't go and interview the migrant that is standing outside waiting for an appointment for a tourist visa, that is doing things legally, and it has to wait for months and almost more than a year because there's a backlash of all the overflow that has been happening in the recent years in the immigration courts in the United States of America. That is what is happening. Somebody saying they're not migrants, they are illegals. That is your perception. I'm calling them migrants because they're migrating into your country. When they enter your country, you can call them whatever you want. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. I was just on a hit with Real America's Voice News. Be sure to be watching in the next incoming days into the network. Be sure to be watching. Be sure to be continuously sharing. Buy me a coffee is on the bottom link. If you guys like to donate and contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, I will completely appreciate it. Appreciate that. Buy me a coffee is on the bottom link. We are independent. We need your support more than ever to continue to expose and continue to travel and continue to go. It's not easy. It's not easy to be over here. It's not easy. It's not cheap. So I will completely appreciate your support. And I will completely appreciate, you guys considering supporting our travel. As we are all the way down here to Panama, exposing ourselves, putting ourselves lives in danger. As every time that we go to the jungle, we're putting ourselves lives in danger. So supporting independent reporting, you guys know what the reality is coming. Tucker Carlson is an independent journalist, and look what happened. It's all truth. Independent media is the one that is on a rise. The establishment media is on the decline. Support independent media. God bless you all. Stay safe. Be sure to be following all of our platforms. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. That's about it. And also Getter, I think so. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. And always remember, God's plan, it is our mission. Thank you so much. Be sure to be watching.